Hi, and welcome to this bonus lesson of Vertex Pusher training. We will talk a bit about UVs and what UVs are and how to unwrap a complete human head. Before we start, I really want to thank everybody for the purchase and for really nice feedback. And I got quite a few emails for that support my work, and I'm very happy and thankful about it. Okay, so let's start. Firstly, what the hell are UVs? Well, you can consider UVs as another set of polygons on your existing polygon objects. Well, that's not exactly technically correct, but it will really give you a good idea of it. So it's another set of polygons that it's related only to the material, to the texture you can create or paint on your object. So first we will go here under body paint UV edit layout. So layout will slightly change. The first things that user try is to paint something with this brush tool. And if he tries, he will see a no-go sign. That basically means you cannot paint on me. So before doing anything to this object, you have to prepare it with this wizard guy. So we will deselect all, select only this cube, hit next. We won't bother about these settings, hit next again and finish. So I can close this window. It seems like not much has happened except this cube gained a little bit more dark gray color, but you can see here it gained a completely new material, and now you can actually paint on that cube. Okay, and you can see it also updates here on this two-dimensional canvas. So let me undo that. To really understand what happened, we will select our cube, and here under UV mesh we will say show UV mesh. And now we can actually see that we have 6 polygons here, and each polygon here corresponds to a polygon here. So for example, if I draw a number 1 here, it's a really ugly number 1, but unfortunately I don't have a tablet yet. You will see that this polygon is exactly the same here. And that's what UVs are. The UVs are a set of polygons, and you always want to unwrap your object and to lay it here on the 2D canvas. So you basically want to unpack it. These default UVs we have are really quite nice. We can really understand which one is which one, okay? And that works for, let's say, basic primitive objects, something like cube. We can expand on that and do a projection here, which is currently grayed out because you have to be in faces mode. Okay. So if you have a box, this is really a box, and you get a box projection, you will basically get an unpacked box. And you see how this number 2 is just partially here. If you grab this UV point edit tool and move this polygon, you will be actually able to encompass this number 2 and show it here. Something like that. And you can see the power of it. You can distort all this, but actually the shape of this cube will remain the same. That gives you a lot of flexibility. Let me just show you one more important thing before we unwrap a human head. If you do a frontal projection, then these polygons will be projected on this 2D canvas exactly as seen in viewport. So if I rotate this a bit and hit a frontal projection again, this projection will closely resemble this in the viewport. Okay? Why is that important? Well, let me show you just in a second. Here we have a seemingly challenging task, but in fact it is not challenging at all. So we want to unpack this head on a 2D canvas. Okay, so once again we will go here under Body Paint UV Edit, and you see I have an old UV mesh here, so let me select my female head, and once again you see this is a mess, and we will run the wizard again. So now we want to deselect all, select just the female, hit next a few times, finish and close. And you can see now Cinema 4D created a UV flat layout for us, but it's a mess. You can't really tell which part is which. Can you tell me what this part is, or this one? You can probably paint something and find out, but that's really bad, and it's not productive at all. Let me undo that. We want to have a nice and clean layout, and to do that we will firstly project to what seems to be the most logical start, and the most logical start is to project in this front view. Of course it's grayed out, we have to be in faces mode, and let's do a frontal projection first. So now we have a starting point. The next step is here under Relax UVs. I have this cut selected edges enabled, and I will show you why here if I go to my edge mode. And I made a small edge selection, and if I double click it here, this is actually the edges where I will say cut this head here. Okay, I also selected a loop around each ear, so if the loop is closed, the whole piece will be separated. Okay, so it will be completely cut away. So now, as you can see, all that I need to do right now, you have to be in faces mode. I have to check this cut selected edges, select ABF as algorithm. You can try with the LSCM, and check this auto realign guy. So let's hit apply and see what happens. And instantly we have a really good UVs. So you will probably have to manipulate some points that overlap and really play around with the points a bit, but now you really can say that this is a head. Okay, so if you select this all, I just did a rectangle selection, all those standard tools, those move, scale and rotate work here. So just want to rotate this a bit, something like this, and put it roughly in the center. Since this is a basic tutorial, I don't want to go in depth about relaxing. We could actually relax this and fix this a bit more, but now you can really use your artistic abilities and paint on this head or on this nice flat set of UV polygons on this two-dimensional canvas. So for example, the next step would be selecting, let's say, some sort of brush here, something like this, and really started to play around and really paint that texture. Okay, but this tutorial is really designed to help you understand the UV and UV unwrapping. Hopefully now the UVs are not so mystical, technical, crazy thing, and you will really utilize this technique on your heads and rest of the body part. I should also mention, when you have a complete body, you can separate the body in selection tags. So for example, you want to select natural parts, for example, head, hands, legs, torso, and you can do a faces selection. So you can then hide all elements of the body and do on a single one at the moment. And later you can combine that all into one map. So here is where map size, the resolution matters. If you are doing a body, then I suggest you go with at least 2048 by 2048 map size resolution. Hopefully you enjoyed this bonus lesson, and I believe I will be able to produce some more.